Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to talk about a powerful MaxForLive device, Opal by Force. If you want to see a full walkthrough of this plugin, there are a couple of other great videos on YouTube that will do that. What I want to do today is show you 8 sound design tricks you could use this plugin for creating every element in your track. I truly believe this is a powerful plugin. I approached Force and asked them if I could make a video about this plugin, so they sent me a free copy. So thank you very much, and let's start. So number one is the sequencer. Let's talk about all the different features of this sequencer because it's really powerful. Let's start by adding 2 notes and let's reduce the steps from 16th to 4. You can choose your root note right here. For this track, I'm working on the key of B. On the second tab, we have the note where we can change each individual note by clicking and sliding up. Next, we have probability. So at the moment, we have 33% that will play the second note. Let's slide it back to 100. Next, we have modular. This is really cool. So if we increase this number to 2, it means that we'll play this note on the first loop and we'll mute it on the second loop. If I change this number to 2 on 2, it means that this note will be muted at the first loop and played at the second loop. So great possibilities here with randomization. Let's put them back to normal. Next we have ratchet, so let's add 4 notes here. And we can even change the swing of the ratchet. And lastly, we have nudge, where I can move this note off the grid. And you can also have up to 8 pages and 128 steps, as well as you can have up to 64 patterns. I can copy the pattern from here into number 2 and paste it, and now I have the same pattern copied into here, and I can modify it further. Number 2, let's make some weird basses. This device is so easy with making weird basses as well as super clean ones. So to begin with, I have this beat. If you watched some of my videos in the past, you know that I like to record my basses into audio to make sure there is no clash between the tail of the bass and the kick. I will show you in a bit what I mean. So let's solo this Opal, let's decrease the steps to 4, and let's start playing around until we find some cool basses. I want to start by recording this into audio, just to have like this nice clicky bass. Notice that this note is actually pretty long, and if I put it here, it will overlap with the kick, and that will interfere with the phase of this kick, which means we will have a reduction in volume. So let's drag it here. And now we have a nice offbeat bass. But we can make some more cool basses with it. Let's keep going. Let's start by increasing the hold. Let's change the modulation. Let's delete one of the notes. Let's see what we have at the moment. Let's add some noise. Let's reduce it by 12 semitones. Let's increase the hold a bit more. Nice. Let's record this into audio as well. Let's try to do something else. Let's play with the phase. Add some feedback. And let's record this into audio as well. Okay, so we have 3 different notes. Let's try to make a pattern out of it. Let's start by zooming in, adding a bit of a fade to make sure the bass note doesn't clash with the kick. I pretty like this bass. Let's keep it simple for the sake of this tutorial. Let's go on to the next one. So, number 3. And this is to do with recording all of the different engines of Opal. So on Opal, we have 6 different engines. And it can get really messy if you have 6 different sounds playing from the same device all at the same time. So there is a way to play all of the different engines, each one from its own channel. And that is really important for the next steps of this tutorial to help us keep a clean mix. So on the MIDI channel, I have an Opal. And let's insert an audio channel just underneath. Let's set the audio channel to receive audio from Opal. Instead of post mixer, let's assign it for 3 or 4. Let's toggle in. And now this audio channel will receive audio from the first engine in Opal. Let's repeat the process another 5 times and set each channel to receive audio from a different engine. Let's put Opal and the 6 audio channels into a group. Let's mute Opal and let's add 1 note for the first 3 engines. You can now see that each audio channel is receiving audio from a different engine. We can now add different processing for each channel, such as EQ, compression, different reverbs or delays, and keep processing it from there. Let's go on for the next step. Oh, I forgot to mention one thing. If you are heading to your user library, you can literally drag and drop this group into your user library, and then you have it saved. So then what you can do is, I can drag and drop the one I saved already before into here, so I don't need to do it every time from scratch. Number 4, and this is parameter locks. So if you notice, we didn't talk about the first tab in the sequencer, and that's for a specific reason. So let's add 4 different notes. The cool thing about it, that we can assign a unique value for every step in the sequencer for each control of the engine. So let's take the mod depth and let's increase it to some of the notes. All you need to do is slide up. Let's take the ratio and increase it for this one. Let's decrease the release and let's only increase it for some of the notes. Notice that every parameter I click on is showing down here. Let's take the mode sweep and the mode time and add it to the first note. Let's also add some unison. Let's add some noise to some of them. Pretty cool, but we can take it a step further. If you click on this tab, you can send some reverb in. So, if you go to the last tab, we can set the space of the reverb. Let's decrease a bit the size, and let's decrease the tail so it's not too big. And then we can send some reverb by clicking on the send here, going back to the gem sequencer. Need to click on the number. Now we have mixed reverb. Let's assign a bit of reverb to this one. Number 5. let's make some sick atmospheres. Let's head to the second tab, the Mass Engine, and let's start play around. We want a long note, so first of all, let's reduce the steps to 4. And let's slow down the sequencer to a rate of 8. And let's add 1 note. Let's head to this tab and let's turn the first sequencer off for now. Let's start by adding some warp. 12 semitones up. Let's add some release. And some hold. Let's go to the modulation tab. Let's decrease the rate of the LFO and add some spread. Let's change the destination here from noise filter to tonal warp. And let's add a lot of reverb as well. So number 6, let's make some techno percussion loops using another engine. Let's head to Dust. Dust is essentially a noise generator. Let's start by reducing the steps to 8, and let's write a simple sequence like this. Let's have a listen. Let's head to this tab and let's reduce the tone. Let's add some reverb. Let's change the space. And let's just shape it a bit more. So, we also have a granular engine here called Slate. Let's start by dropping in a sample. So first of all, we can start by changing the length of the loop. Let's make it really small. Let's make sure that we mute the percussion loop we made before, and let's make another sequence of 4 notes this time, and it will be something like so. Let's change the start position. We can also change the direction. Let's decrease the release. Let's listen to how this sounds together with the previous loop. I'm happy with that. Let's process this individually. Let's start by adding EQ to both channels. And a bit of mid-side EQ for the reverb. Okay, we have reached number 8, and this is the coolest sound design feature of this plugin. Let's head to our user library and let's drop another set of Opal into our project. If you click on this button right here, you have this little pop-up window. Let's make it a bit bigger. Bigger. Nice. And this is our randomizer tab. Okay, this is super powerful and can get you some really cool sound with no effort. We have a global randomizer for every sound and for every pattern. Let's talk about the sound first of all. So if I click this, you can see that we have a randomized sound right here. I can also randomize the pattern, but with the pattern there's a few more controls you need to be aware of. One is the density and the other one is the lock. So if I randomize the pattern now with 50 on the locks, there's a 50% chance that a random parameter lock will appear on every step of the sequencer. Remember, parameter locks is these, when I add some unison, for example, to this step, but not for this step. Density is the density of the notes. So if we keep it on a low density, if I press random, you see we only have 2 little notes appearing. Press random again only 2. If the density is high, we have a lot of notes appearing. Let's keep this on 50 and let's see what kind of sound we have. If I'm not happy with this sound, I have a few other random controls to just modify it a bit. One is the wiggle. So wiggle would just change the sound slightly. And the other one is the scrumble. The scrumble would just change the pattern slightly. Let's start with the wiggle. The wiggle only randomizes the parameters slightly, so the characteristic stays the same, but maybe you want a slightly different version. This is so useful instead of going and modifying each and different parameter. Scrumble works in the same way, and then we also have move forward and move backwards, so just focus on the sequencer for now. Let's scrumble it. And it's just scrumbling all the different notes that we have in a different order. But I can also move them forward or backwards. The next cool thing about this is this surprise me button. This will randomize all the engines and all of the sequencers. Let's click on it until we find something cool. I mean, what the fuck? If you make techno or if you make dark music, this is a beast of a device. I've never seen anything like it. I made a video about a truly unique MaxForLive synth called Whistle, which is based on a granular synth and a physical modeling engine. Very unique, very cool. Go watch it here. Peace.